welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a sit down video. As you can see, I am recording for you guys 10 binge worthy Netflix shows that I've just recently watched or am watching, and I do have a kink in my neck. Fun, right? And it hurts, so if I'm like moving weird or like looking like a robot, that is why, because I have a kink in my neck. So I have my laptop right here with all my movies that I wanted to, or shows I want to talk about, and then if you watch it till the end, I will also tell you one movie that is a must-see that I just watched, and it is great. These shows are more like chick flick shows, so if you're a guy watching this, you probably aren't gonna like any of these shows that I'm about to tell you guys, so you might want to click out the video and find a different one, because this one's probably not gonna be for you. But so yeah, don't you love how I'm moving? It's great. You know what, I took a drink of my coffee earlier and I just realized that I like to hold, this is so not even about anything, I don't know why I'm telling you, but I like to hold my coffee with my right hand. I don't know if this is like a thing, right-handed people hold their coffee with their right hand, left people hold, but with this coffee cup, I'm wondering if I'm thinking this might, either this is the proper way to hold your coffee cup, or this is for left-handed people, because the C's in the front. The first one is called Molly, on the 5th season right now. I have like maybe 3 episodes left. I binged it for like a whole week straight because there's 5 seasons and it took me a minute. But it is if you like Vampire Diaries type shows, you'll love The Lost Girl. I was kind of skeptical when I watched it. I turned it on twice before I actually got into it. It's really good. It's also kind of like a detective show too, because each season has its own like detective topic. So it's a detective one, but it has to do with like unnatural beings, like vampires, werewolves, what else? Trolls. Just every like unnatural thing that you've heard of is in this show. But the main character, she is considered a succubus, and what that is like she feeds off of like sexual energy. So I mean, me telling you that, you're probably like, what the hell are you talking about? But that is basically what she does. And naturals are called, or fays. I know these terms are not going to make any sense to you until you watch this show, but it is very good. I would say the last season, it's kind of like some plot twist in it that kind of sucked, and I kind of slowed down watching it. But the first 4 seasons are great. I think the 5th season's the last season. I don't think there's any more after that. So The Lost Girl is number 1, and these are in no order, so don't think I'm going from least to greatest or anything. Number 1, it's just the one that I'm watching right now.
Okay, so this is the description for this show. Beau is a small-town girl on the run after a disastrous sexual encounter with her boyfriend ends with his death. Beau learns that she is not human, but a succubus who feeds on the sexual energy of humans. She and her kind are members of the fae creatures of the legend who walk among humans and feed off of them in different ways.
Okay, so number 2 is Fuller House. This is like a more common show that if you watch Full House as a kid or growing up, then Fuller House is just a spin-off of Full House. Fuller House, spin-off of Full House. It's, you know what Fuller House is. If you don't know what Fuller House is, you're living under a rock. So, but they just came out with the new season, and Steph had a baby and all that, so you have to watch it. If you watch Full House, you have to watch Fuller House. It's a rule. Go watch Fuller House. I think it's the last season that they're gonna make, so don't miss it.
DJ, now widow and a mother to 3 sons, find herself back in her childhood home alongside her sister Stephanie and her lifelong friend Kimmy, who is also a single mother. All under one roof, the women experience moments big and small together, including budding romance, holidays, parenting, and life's surprises.
Alright, number 3 is Dynasty, and this show, I have not finished it yet, but it is about two wealthy families, and it kind of really just shows you like the ups and downs of being wealthy. It shows you like the positives of wealthy, like what you get when you're wealthy, and then it shows you like how evil being wealthy can be. and there's like a big bunch of plots in it, and a bunch of crazy stuff happens, and there's two female characters that just butt heads. I mean, that starts from like the first episode, and it's just good. It's a good show. It has a bunch of like ups and downs in it, so go watch Dynasty.
The Carringtons and the Colbys feud for control over their fortune and their children in the updated reboot of the classic primetime soap opera.
Okay, number 4 is Jane the Virgin. You've probably heard of this one also. It is super good. It has a bunch of little plots. It's romantic. It's funny. And it's basically about a woman who is a virgin and ends up getting pregnant. I'm not going to tell you how. If you have not seen Jane the Virgin, you need to go watch it to see how she ends up pregnant by being a virgin. And then you find her caught in a love triangle with 2 men, and then also with a woman included in the triangle, not in love with her, but like the guy. So it's funny. Like, the character Jane is very good at playing her character, and it has sad moments, happy moments, and it's just a very good show. So Jane the Virgin is number 4.
The daughter of a teen mother, Jane grew up determined not to repeat her mom's mistakes. At 23, her life is on track. Jane is studying to be a teacher and engaged to a handsome detective who supports her decision to remain a virgin until marriage. Then, a routine clinic flips her life upside down.
Number 5 is going to be Virgin Rivers, and this is so hard for me to do because I want to like tell you every single detail in these shows. I talk way too much, and I don't want to ruin any of them for you if you haven't seen them. So this is hard. But Virgin Rivers is a new Netflix show. It just came out. It only has 1 season, and if you are into like the small town girls type show, this is a perfect show for you. I'm obsessed with small town girl shows. I wish I was a small town girl. I'm not. I live in a big city. I wish I didn't. I would love to live in a small town in the country away from people. I would love to do that. But I don't. I grew up in a big city. I also love being in a big city. It's really convenient, but I don't know. Small towns just like pull my heartstrings. But this one is about a LA nurse. She's a nurse practitioner. Her husband dies, and in the show it goes flashbacks on how he ends up dying. And so she wants to move away from home, and she moves to a small town, and the small town's called Virgin Rivers. It's very, very small. They have like 1 doctor, they have like 1 bar, they have like the houses are like super like cabins. Like it's a small town. So the doctor didn't even know that she was gonna be coming there. I don't know. I don't want to tell you. Someone ends up hiring her for the doctor because they think that he just needs help. So you'll get to see like how the doctor, if he ends up letting her stay, if he ends up working with her, if he doesn't end up working with her, whatever. But so she ends up trying to work for the doctor. They clash for the first few episodes, and then she also falls in love with someone. She is close with the bartender, which he has like really helped her adjust to the moving situation and all that. I watched that in like 2 days. Like, I was obsessed with this show. There's a season 2 coming out. Netflix already filmed it and everything. So I don't know exactly when it's going to be out, but season 2 is coming.
Seeking a fresh start, a nurse practitioner moves from Los Angeles to a remote North Carolina town and is surprised of what and who she finds.
Okay, so number 6 is a popular show, but I had to put it in here. It is called Fosters. It's a great show. It made me want to be a foster mom. Probably would never happen, but it's about a couple that are foster parents. In the beginning, they didn't want to be foster parents anymore, but somehow they ended up with 2 more foster kids, and that's basically what the show is about, is those 2 foster kids. They're like troubled kids. They had their brother and sister. They have like a bad past, and you know, kids with bad past tend to get in trouble in they're misunderstood is what I should say.
So I posted a picture of the spinoff of The Fosters right here, which is also called Good Trouble. So if you want to watch the spinoff, if you've already seen The Fosters, that is what it is called.
So the next one is Raising Dion, and this is a really, really good show. It only has one season, but there will be a season 2, I'm pretty sure, by the way that the first season ended. It is about a mom, a single mom. The husband died, and it does tell you how he dies in the show, so I'm not going to tell you. But he ends up dying, and his best friend helps the mom really close. They're really close. He's really close with the son, and so her son ends up having superpowers, and she's trying to hide that he has superpowers from the government, so he's not like tested on and all that. And it just shows like how she's trying to help him control his powers and hide him from showing his powers to people and all that. And then it also just shows like the struggles of being a single mom. A bunch of plot twists. The ending is crazy. Like you would have never expected the ending to be what it is. So I'm not gonna give it away, but it is very good, and it's a show that you and your husband can watch together because my husband watched.
A single mother must hide her young son's superpowers to protect him from exploitation while investigating her husband's death.
Okay, so the next one, number 8, is going to be Hart of Dixie, and this goes back to liking the small town girl shows. If you've seen Virgin Rivers and you haven't seen Hart of Dixie, go watch it. If you've seen Hart of Dixie and you haven't seen Virgin Rivers, go watch it, because they're kind of similar. The main character of Hart of Dixie is from New York. She's a doctor. She needs a change, so she moves to Alabama, a small town Alabama, and takes a job. When she gets there, the doctor that ended up hiring her died and left half of his practice to her, so she's sharing her practice with another doctor. And the other doctor that she's sharing her practice with is also the same doctor on Virgin Rivers, so it's pretty cool to see how both of his characters kind of differ and how he plays them both. It's cool. But I mean, it's a chick flick, so there's a bunch of romance, there's a bunch of heartbreak, there's a bunch of drama. It's a small town, so it's a very good show. And if you like them type of shows, go watch it. Hart of Dixie, I think, has like 5 seasons. So, way more seasons than Virgin Rivers.
A New York doctor has reached a crossroads in her life when she decides to accept an offer from a stranger to work with him at his practice in Alabama. When she arrives in town, she discovers that the man has died and left her half his practice. Despite the shock of Southern life, Zoe decides to give her new life a chance and discovers a new side of herself in the process.
Number 9, which is Unbelievable.
Put this on you, tablet.
And this is about a woman, a young girl, I should say. She's a young woman. I don't really know her age, but she's young. Ends up getting raped, and based on a true story. So this is like real stuff that really happens to people when something like that happens. Like they have to retell that story. They have to get a rape kit done, and they have to it's a very traumatic experience even after that. So it kind of goes through telling all that, and then somehow in one of the times she told her story, she had said something, and the police switched it around, saying that she shouldn't lie, and they made her feel like the story was she shouldn't tell the story that she was lying. She like she knew she wasn't lying. She knew what had happened to her, but they made her feel like she was lying. So she just backed out of her story. And 2 women detectives worked together in the case. I'm not going to tell you if they did solve it, all that. I'm going to let you watch it. I'm going to stop because I've been said too much. But it's a very good series. It is sad and all that, but it's a good one.
When a teen reports being raped, then recants her story, 2 female detectives file evidence that could reveal the truth, and it is based on a true story.
The last show that I'm going to tell you is called You, and this is a kind of a newer show, but it's not. Like it had like a big, everyone was talking about it at one point, But it's very good. I just started watching it, so I'm not completely done with it yet. A new season just came out, so that's why I was like, oh, I'm gonna watch it. But it's about a guy who's obsessed with a girl, and how he just like follows her around and stalks her, and then it like he like hurts everyone that hurts her. So it's great. It's crazy. Watch it.
What would you do for love? For a brilliant male bookstore manager who crosses paths with an inspiring female writer, the question is put to the test. A charming yet awkward crush becomes something even more sinister when the writer becomes the manager's obsession. Using social media and the internet, he uses every tool at his disposal to become close to her, even going to as far as to remove any obstacle, including people, that stands in his way of getting to her.
Okay, so that's all 10 of my binge-worthy shows that I have just recently watched or that I have watched in the past at some point. The movie that I'm going to tell you guys to watch if you have stayed this long is called After. It is probably one of the best romance movies that I have seen in a long time. It is about a girl who goes to college. She's considered like a good girl, and her roommate ends up being like a bad girl, and she goes out with her and her group of friends. She ends up meeting this guy. I'm not going to tell you too much because I want you to watch it. The guy is a bad boy, but there's a bunch of plot twists. There's a bunch of love. There's some sad heartbreaks. It's so good that I watched it like 3 times just recently. So go watch it. If you like romance movies, you will love this movie. It is so good. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Your favorite binge-worthy shows in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!